Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Sunrise Publishing Last Chance County cover reveal Facebook Live. And we're really happy that you're here with us and watching tonight. And we're super excited for what we have for you. We're going to reveal all 4 covers. We're going to talk about the series, talk about what the books are about. And I'm going to bring my authors on and they're going to introduce themselves. So we have some giveaways too. We're going to actually give away, we have some little swag bags with some awesome stickers and Lisa Phillips pen and a little Lisa Phillips chapstick. We have a few of those. And then we also have a full set of paperback books of the original series, and we're going to give the full set to one person, and we're just going to randomly pick from all the comments. So go ahead and comment, say hello. We're happy to be here, happy to have you. So we are going to bring on our first draft author, and that is Megan Besing.
Hello. Everybody.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, so why don't you tell us a little about you?
Okay. I live in southern Indiana with my husband and 2 kids, and I've been writing for about 10 years probably. And I didn't start reading and loving fiction until I was in my late 20s. So it's kind of all hit all at once, but.
All right. Well, we're going to say bye to you, and then we're going to bring on our next author, and that is Emilie Haney. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. We're so happy to have you. Why don't you tell us?
Here.
Yeah, tell us a little about yourself.
So I also live in Indiana as of a little over 6 months ago. My husband and I moved. We've got 2 dogs and then a cat named Pages because books. As you can see, I love books. I've been writing since I was a teen. Actually, probably even before that, creating fun stories when you're a kid. And I grew up to become an author and a cover designer and a photographer. So that's kind of what I do for my living.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to say bye and we're going to meet Laura Conaway. And it's funny because my English accent is terrible, but there's a few words that I still say with the British accent, and Laura is one of them. So hi.
It's so good to be here. Hello, everyone.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, so I do not live in Indiana like the 2 others. I live in Pennsylvania. I've always loved reading and writing. Went to school for writing and to become a librarian. I put teaching on, and I've been writing for about 6 years now and have been loving it ever since.
All right, and you have some fun news to share with us. Why don't you share your news?
Yes, you guys are the first to hear that I have a contract with Harlequin to write a love-inspired suspense book with them, and I'm so excited about that.
That's awesome. So, I mean, just to clarify, like, you not only wrote your Sunrise Publishing novel this year, but you also wrote a love-inspired suspense and submitted it to their great author search and got a contract offer today.
So I did today, like 2 hours ago.
Yep. So we just, that's just a testament to how hard you've worked. And, all 3 of you just worked so hard and brought so much to Sunrise and to this series that is just really exciting to see. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yay. All right. Bye. Okay. If we can bring all 3 of them back, we're going to, before we do our cover reveal, we're going to do a little fun quiz, the first ever Sunrise Publishing game show style author quiz. So we're going to have a little fun. We're going to shake things up. And you guys are mostly completely unprepared for this, so it'll be fun. So here are the rules of the quiz. There are no rules. I will ask a question and just yell out the answer whenever you think you know it. So, and if you don't know the answer, then you can check in the comments, and all our fantastic commenters, friends and readers will in the chat can tell us who they think won at the end. And the winner out of the three of you can choose anyone from the comments to get an early release ebook copy of the first book in our series as soon as it's available. So, exciting. Okay, so this is the practice question. Okay. Which two primary colors make up the color green?
Yellow and
Know
blue.
this.
Excellent. Excellent, Megan. Okay, here's the practice question, just in case you might need to check the comments at some point. What do chickens play in the pool?
What?
Anybody?
I'm like, I have chickens. They don't play in pools.
I'm like,
Marco Pollo. Excellent. Okay, here we go. From which famous novel does this first line come? It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man...
Pride and Prejudice.
Ah, there you go. A single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. Clearly. Okay. What kind of fish is Nemo in Finding Nemo?
Clownfish.
Excellent. How many books are there in the Bible?
66.
Ah, that was good. All three of you got that one. Which famous historical figure said the British are coming?
Oh, was that Paul Revere?
Yes, it was.
Oh.
I know that because I was schooling American history this year. So I'm learning lots of things.
I'm like nervous.
Very tense.
It's like pounding. I'm gonna get the right answer.
Right, pounding. Suspenseful. It's because
Yes.
it's a suspense
Yes.
series.
Yes.
Yes. How many dogs do I have?
2.
That was good.
Like I'm
Excellent.
pretty sure it's 2.
Coffee or tea?
T. Ooh.
Coffee.
Ooh,
Sorry.
the correct
for you
answer
or
is
for me?
Both.
why do I have to choose?
Ah,
Don't make me choose. Both.
like who are we answering for?
Right? Who are we talking about? Both. Okay. Does the advice from the movie Top Gun Maverick, don't think, just do, only apply to teenagers learning to drive, or does it also apply to writing?
Writers.
Yeah, cool.
Especially when you're on deadline.
Yes, don't think, just start
do.
typing. Yes. Okay, which Sunrise Publishing Elite Guardians story features a former Israeli agent?
Defending honor.
Yeah,
That's the third one.
Awesome lumberjack billionaire with the beard. You know, I always forget the names of their books, but I looked. So, Driving Force is Kate's book, and then Sammy's book is the one with the exploding blue frosting. Which is so that's Impending Strike, and then Defending Honor. And I just absolutely love that series, and I love that just for Sunrise that they set the bar really high for us as a season for Sunrise to come up with just great characters and great plots. So I'm super excited that we get to follow them as a Sunrise suspense series. So there's a couple more questions. In which fictional town do you find a pizza grill called Backdraft?
Last Chance County.
All their books.
All of them. So, just want to say thank you to Amy Brandt for naming our restaurant so we didn't have to keep calling it Pizza Grill.
Pizza Grill.
That was great. And then the final question. What is book 1 of our series called?
I don't even remember.
Expired.
Return. Expired Return.
Oh, okay, yes.
My bad.
I'm like it's the one that you're writing.
The one with the thing, with the guy. You probably know the whole story.
Yeah, like I know the story.
The title. I do that all the time. I'll read something on my Kindle, on Kindle Unlimited, and then I'll immediately return it, and I'll be like, "That was really good." And somebody will be like, "Well, what was it called?" And I'm like, "I don't know." The one with the dog and the lady in the mountain. And then I'm like, I can't even remember who the author is, and I'm trying to Google it, and I have no idea. So I'm the worst person for book titles. Tell you what. All right. So we'll let our commenters decide who they think won, and then the person they think won can pick somebody from the comments to win something. So to win a book. So we are going to do our cover reveal now. So, Rel, if you could put up all 4 covers for our series. All right, I'm going to go back. So, our whole series is Last Chance County Fire and Rescue is what we're going to call it. And so the whole series takes place in a fire department. And we've got firefighters and EMTs for you. And we've got a federal agent. And we have counselors from the Ridgeland Center that's run by Dean Cartwright. Okay. Can we put the covers up right now? That's an awesome picture. We'll see. Here we go. Hey. So cool. I love that they're all guys too, because like the Elite Guardians is all strong women, protectors, and so you know, just giving it a different flavor, having all the firefighters, one's an EMT, one's a federal agent, and it's just, they're awesome covers. So I'm excited. Okay, so I've actually been writing in this story world for a couple of years now. And the original Last Chance County 10-book series will always be one of my favorite series that I've written. And, you know, even if it actually ties back further than that to Northwest Counterterrorism, that is the same story world. And so I just love the close-knit community of Last Chance County and wanted to bring that same feel to our series, to have that close-knit group of people. And then also giving the fire department a chance to redeem themselves, because I kind of painted them in a bad light. The original series, you know, their chief was one of the bad guys in the town, and so just giving them a chance to shine and be on the page, and we get to know them. So then after that original series, I spun off to Chevalier, which was private security. And then I pulled the thread of the accountant's office, and I did a series of clients enrolled in the accountant's office, which was like a private witness protection kind of a thing. And so that's Last Chance Downrange, which is set in Benson, Washington. So there's 2 EMTs in Benson, Washington. This is a long story, but it ties away to our first book of our series. So bear with me. So there are 2 EMTs in Last Chance Downrange, and they start the first 2 books of my new series, Benson First Responders. And so the first book in Benson First Responders comes out next week. And then the second book comes out in December. And this EMT is stepbrothers with my guy from Expired Return. So yeah, so Blackout, which comes out in December, is like a prequel to the story of Expired Return. And we're just going to get into each book one by one. So just going to talk about Expired Return for a second. So Alan Freeze, so in book 8, Expired Betrayal, they were going after the bad guy toward the end, and Alan Freeze was one of the police officers, and he was in the building down, they were like in the basement when the building actually exploded over them, and he was paralyzed at that point, and then so he left the police force. And then something I learned writing Expired Return was that there are a lot of people who use a wheelchair, but they're not necessarily unable to walk. And so, some can, it's like a partial, or they can, take, carry them around, self around for a few steps. And so it really, just letting somebody be in the situation that they're in, and then just getting to know what that would be like. And so it's part of who he is, to always be achieving something and getting stronger. And then he applies that to his physical abilities. He makes his own limits, and he's the one who says what he can do and what he can't do. And so there's a character in book 10, Pepper, she's the vet tech. She works with Brett, the veterinarian, and they were actually dating at the time the building exploded in Expired Betrayal. And so they've got this history of why she broke up with him, and I carried that through to this series, so they get to kind of resolve that between them. So Pepper is watching her niece over the holidays, and her sister never shows back up to pick her up, and then her niece is nearly kidnapped. And so they have to figure out what's going on and who's targeting them, and what Pepper's sister got mixed up in. And so there's a lot of characters from the original series that I wanted to bring onto the page from various different roles. And then we can see where they're at now and how many kids they have now. And I had to do a lot of math on 18 months, and if that means how many more children they have. So who has a baby, who has a toddler, who's on kid number 2. And then we've got a ton of new characters to meet. And so, creating a whole new series. And so the first book is Expired Return, and it kind of kicks off the whole series. So Alan is the fire department liaison to City Hall. So he works in the fire department, but not as a firefighter. So he kind of gets to manage that whole situation because it needs some managing. So it was a lot of fun to write, and I think the series as a whole is going to be a lot of fun too. So, okay, let's go to Megan, and you can tell us what is Expired Hope about.
Expired Hope has Natalie, and she's a veteran and therapist, and she watched her Army career explode in her face. All she ever wanted was to help people carry her burdens. And she's actually the cousin to Alan from Lisa's book. And so she is required to evaluate the fire department, and the chief, who is Macon, he is not thrilled that she is stepping into his world. He thinks he can handle his people, and he needs no help because he has some background issues with therapists and counselors. And when things go badly, he realizes that maybe she's the one that needs him to step into her life. So
awesome. Thank you. Cool. All right, Emilie, if you would tell us about Expired Promise.
Absolutely. So my book is about Last Chance County EMT Andy Crawford, who's just achieved a big goal in life. She's become a probationary firefighter. And her 2 older twin brothers are also firefighters. So she's been fighting all her life to kind of compete with them in a sense. But things change pretty drastically for her when she finds out that her family is targeted by a drug lord with ties to a client that her mother, who's a lawyer, represented before. So enter the hero, Jude, ATF agent Jude Brooks. You can see him on the cover there. I love it. He's so cute. But very manly and handsome, of course. So he actually is sent back to Last Chance County as an ATF agent. And this is where he used to spend his time as a kid during his summers, basically with his grandparents. And so he is tasked with uncovering the connection between Andy's family and this cartel leader and like whatever's going on. But Jude and Andy have a bit of a past that threatens to get in the way. So as the danger ramps up and past romance is rekindled, probably, right? Jude and Andy have to
Maybe.
learn to rely on one another if they're going to make it through.
All right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Laura, why don't you tell us about expired vows?
So excited. We have counting after the law every day. He quickly realizes this is anything but behind him when he encounters Kelsey Scott, who is his late wife's best friend. And Kelsey is a family counselor who has mistakes of her own. But when she becomes a target for a series of dangerous attacks, she's determined to handle it on her own without Trace's help. And they have to figure out how they're going to work together and have her risk her heart.
Awesome. And I love it because we have 3 books where the characters knew each other before. And so there's that automatic conflict, like one of the comments said, between them. And then, you know, you got the chief in Megan's book and the counselor, and just the way they interact is just fantastic. And I just love all 4 stories. So they all release in 2023. Expired Return comes out in January. And then the next book comes out in April, and book 3 comes out in May, and book 4 comes out in September. And so you can go and go on Amazon on your favorite book retailer, and you can pre-order the ebook now. So you can snatch up the whole series tonight if you want. And then it'll be out in paperback and audio also closer to the release date. So yeah, so these are available for you guys to pre-order already. So okay, so I have a question for you guys. Do you have any advice for an aspiring author or someone who's thinking about submitting to a series for Sunrise?
Just do it.
Yeah.
I think they shared a quote of mine like that on the Instagram page, but I say like there's nothing wrong just trying out, and if you don't make it, that maybe that's just not the right author, but try again until you find like kind of the right fit, because you're never going to know if you don't try. And it like I feel like I was challenged in a sense to kind of just like put myself out there, and I'm so glad that I did.
Awesome.
And I think even if you've tried out before and you're like, oh, I'm not good enough, try again. You never know what the reason was that you weren't picked. Part of writing I've learned is perseverance. If you're in it for the long haul, keep learning. Part of it is just allowing yourself to be seen, even if that means failing and not getting picked. That molds you into what your future may be holding. So
yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Keep honing your craft, and like everyone else has said, just submit. Who knows what will happen? Even if it's a second or the third time, the more you practice the writing, the better you'll get, and the more likely you'll be able to make connections and have a chance at getting a book published.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, you guys. And thank you for writing awesome books, because it'll be a bit sad this series of books with me. So you guys did an awesome job working on these books, and we're still, you know, in process of revisions and edits and all that fun stuff. So good times. So thank you for being awesome and doing an awesome job. So all right. Don't forget to pre-order the books. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. And in a couple of days, we'll pull from the comments and choose a winner for the series of paperbacks, some winners of some swag bags, and one of my authors will choose who they think should also receive an early reader copy of Expired Returns. So
there's a question here we could answer.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I had not. And I'm glad that I was introduced to Lisa. I had never even heard of Lisa until I saw her on the live. And so obviously then I started digging into like, who is this person? She writes romantic suspense and she's awesome. So I was glad that I got introduced, because she's just crazy in the best way. And like, she just writes so much. And so like, I mean, I'm inspired by that. So I mean, crazy in like a positive way. So now there's like, I'll spend the rest of my life probably catching up, reading all of her books.
Awesome.
And
Okay.
I hadn't written suspense before. I was everything but suspense. So I was on like, I don't know, but I knew I liked that kind of stuff. So I read the first 2 or 3 of hers, trying to get a feel of her voice and how she sets up her chapters. And then I watched the live of what she wanted possibly. And then that's how I decided, I think I can do this. And the story idea came, and then I just went with it. So.
Awesome. How much research did you all do before submitting?
Like,
I did a lot of research.
Yeah. And then Megan, so your character is military, and then your husband's also military. So how much did you pull from things that you've learned and personal experience to make Natalie's character?
Yeah, so he is a veteran. He's no longer active service, but I used some of that. And then also my brother was in the Air Force, and my sister-in-law is active Army now. So I think it's just the little things that I didn't know that were part of the military life that nobody else knows. Those come more naturally for me. I don't have to go, oh, how would they say this? It's already ingrained in my mind of, oh, this is what it's called, and that kind of thing. So I was very lucky that sometimes they say, write what you know, and that does help. I don't always do that, but that part was very helpful. So
cool. Sarah, to answer your question, Pepper's niece's name is Victory. So I'm pretty sure Sarah was the one that named Victory. So here's our question for Jen. Yes. And then Laura, is Dean in your book also?
Yes, he is in my book, mentioned very frequently.
Yes, there we go. Most excellent boss of therapists ever. How many novels, published or unpublished, had you written before applying to Sunrise, Megan?
Oh, okay. I have several unpublished, some in a variety of forms. I had a novella that was published a couple years ago in a novella collection, and then I had my Love Inspired Historical released in April, and then I also was contracted for another story right at the same time as Sunrise. So I don't know if that answers the question. A couple. How about that?
How about you, Emilie?
So I was a ghostwriter. So I wrote probably hundreds of like short novels, basically, but for other people. Of myself, I probably had about 10 finished, maybe more than that. And then I've also self-published. So I had a lot, but in kind of different genres. So
cool. How about you, Laura?
So I only had one unpublished work before this, but I did do a lot of published blog posts. And now I have 2 books that are coming out.
Awesome. I'm going to hang on just in case there are any more questions. So, but we're going to wrap up. Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for coming on and talking about your books. And they're awesome covers. And I'm excited for this series to come out. So the first book release is January 31st. And you can go and pre-order them all right now. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Signing off now. Goodbye.